Hey everyone, Griffin Station back here with another video. Mainly wanted to make an update video talking about my life for the last couple of years, talking about my content in the last couple of years, and how I kind of want to update my life and my content for 2026. So starting with my life in 2023, just gonna jump right into it. I moved to Japan, and I've been living in Japan for like 2.5 years now. It's been pretty nice. For my life, I would actually say like 2023 was kind of rough for personal life. Sorry, motorcycle. I had decided, you know what, I'm just going to change my life completely, moved to Japan, and that was great. But a couple of days before I moved to Japan, my older brother unfortunately passed away, and I was really depressed for like the first month or so I was in Japan because I couldn't even like be with my family during that time. Like my plane tickets were already booked. My new job like contractually was starting. I was almost tempted to just like cancel everything and just stay with my family, but my family still encouraged me to move. And so, but even though I moved, I was still very depressed for like first month or so, understandably, I think. But after that, like living in Japan created some of like the happiest moments of my life, especially in 2023. I was just so happy to be in Japan. I was so happy to like have a change of pace. I'm about to cross the street. Let's see if I can cross it. Yeah, it was just super rewarding, super nice. But there were some drawbacks. I would say like in across now. In 2023, no complaints though. New job, everything's going to be up and down with jobs. But for the most part, I enjoyed the job. I enjoyed like the people I worked with, things like that. Like people I worked with were really cool. I made some really good friends. But it wasn't until 2024. Sorry, there's gonna be some vehicle noises as they pass by. I'm walking home right now. But for like 2024, I don't know. It was just like I needed some sort of change at the beginning, and there was some really concerning things being like told about my job that I was working in Hiroshima. And so I was like, okay, well, if I want to change jobs, I want to do something that, I really, really want to do. That's the main thing about living in Japan. Like, I really love living in Japan, but the job, like, it wasn't my dream job. I liked doing it, but it wasn't my dream job. And so maybe that's the fallacy I found myself in. I wanted to do my dream job, which has always been to act. I've been acting since I was like, 7 years old. Done so many theater productions since. And videos are a creative outlet, but it's not the same kick I get from performing on stage, seeing the audience reaction, things like that. So I wanted to do acting, so I get an opportunity to do so in Japan, which is really cool. But I have to give up my job in Hiroshima, which was actually a tough decision, but I think at the time I thought it was the correct choice. I'm not too sure right now, but you can always live in hindsight. I decided to take the plunge again. I already made a drastic life decision before. Might as well make another. So I moved from Hiroshima to the Tokyo area. Not Tokyo specifically, but I moved to Tokyo in general. And I started acting. And my first, I want to say 3 months in the Tokyo area was pretty isolating. I felt pretty lonely. It just felt pretty rough. But the last 3 months of 2024, my sister came and stayed with me. So I wasn't ever like really alone. So that was nice at least. But yeah, it was definitely different from 2023, where even though I was in a new environment, I had a lot of coworkers I worked with consistently, so I got to see them like on a regular basis, even if it was only on the weekend. But I got to see them like, at least consistently, whereas like I never got consistent coworkers while living in Tokyo, so it's just a lot more difficult to, make friends, have people to spend time with. And having no family here either, it's just feels very lonely. So, and there's also the language barrier issue. I'd been studying Japanese when I was in high school, and then after, I also started studying again when I was in Hiroshima. My teacher was great, really helped with my growth. The vehicles might kind of sound loud over here. It really helped with my growth in Japanese. I haven't been confident in my Japanese ever, really, but I think it's been progressively getting better and better. Like 1 year mark, 2 year mark, so on and so forth. But anyways, 2024 passes. I'm not like 100% sold. I made the correct decision. I think there's some sports being played near me, so that might be the noise you hear. 2025 hits, and it's probably the most down I've been in my life. There were definitely highs of 2025, but there were significant lows. And part of it, I'm gonna go this way. Part of it has to do with my sister left. I went home to California for like a couple weeks after I returned back to Japan, and I was completely alone. Job was really slow. There's a car behind me. I'm gonna point up so the car doesn't get in the frame. Job was really slow. It was just like I wasn't making all that much money. I didn't have anybody around me. I felt like what am I doing? And I was like, maybe I should just go back to the US. But other things turned around. I met some more people in March. I found some solutions to some of my problems, which great. My friends from college also came and visited me, which was really great. It was only for one night, but getting to see them again was really cool because I hadn't seen them since 2020, maybe 2019. So it's been quite a while. That was really cool. Then April was pretty good for work. May was super good for work. And after I was making a bit more connections than I was normally doing last year in 2024. But then I had that string of March, April, May, really good. Hit June and July. June's good for work, but emotionally, June was just really tough. And then July was probably the worst month for me. I just got I don't know what happened. I just regressed. And I cut myself off from everybody. And it was just really, really depressing, to say the least. I was really down on myself. And then August, September, pick myself back up, talk with people, interact with people. Great. October, bit of a down. Not as bad as July though, but also different circumstances. So there's that. And then November, December, it goes up on the upper trajectory. The end of December, unfortunately, really sucked. The last 2 days were really terrible for me, but outside of that, I want to go left. But outside of that, it was for how bad the middle of the year was, it at least somehow turned itself around. And now this video was actually going to be pretty negative overall in terms of my mental space, but because I was planning on recording this before my dad and brother came and visited me, but different older brother from the one I mentioned previously. But, you know, they came and visited me. It was their first time in Japan. They really enjoyed the trip, and I really enjoyed having them. And they left a couple days ago, but that was a really nice change of pace for me. So yeah, I'm now in much better spirits right now. I'm ready to take on 2026 with like a much more positive outlook, a much more targeted outlook. Just like, you know, if I see positive opportunities, take them. I don't need to make risky things. I don't need to make risky plays. What I do need to do is make the correct choices to better my life. And now, will I know that right in front of me? Probably not. You don't usually know until you have hindsight, but I want to make the decisions that are the best for me, that will give me the most happiness. So that's some of my personal goals, even if they're vague. So that's mainly my 2026 New Year's resolution, I suppose. As far as my goal for content, so since I moved to Japan, I've tried a couple things. I streamed P5X, the beta, and I also streamed, what else did I stream? P5X, and that failed. Oh, P1, that's right. But I saw P1's stream because I didn't complete the game, but it was so difficult to get the stream to work properly because the audio for streaming PS Vita is absolutely horrendous. There was always a new issue, and I kept buying new things, and it just never worked. So in the end, I was just like, you know what? Like, it's not worth it. So I haven't played P1, but maybe I'll come back to it. I don't know. For P5X, I streamed it, but only the beta. So I don't play the game anymore. I was playing it on release and daily, but accidentally deleted all my save data. So, you know, once that happened, I lost all the units that I had already pulled, and I didn't spend any money on it, but I'm like, my characters were literally like starting to get close to level 90, and all my data was deleted. I mean, it's my own stupid fault for why it was deleted. But, you know, it is what it is. And then I was streaming P3R on YouTube and Twitch, and I also streamed Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on YouTube and Twitch, third favorite game of all time. And I made a video on my P3R playthrough, the first half of the game. It did absolutely horrendously. Nobody watched it. That's okay. I didn't make it for people to watch it. I made it for myself, but the amount of time and effort I put into it, I need to really be motivated to make a follow-up. So I still haven't done it, and it's almost been 2 years. So maybe one day I'll do it, but I have to really be motivated since it's for me and not for my viewers. I made another video on The Last of Us Part 2, which did a tiny bit better than the P3 Reload one, but, you know, not much better. Still pretty low performing, all things considered. I mean, I think it's because it's like a long form video. I'm gonna try going this way. So it's like, especially for an unknown, like relatively unknown creator, like nobody's going to want to sit through like a multi-hour video. I actually don't remember how long those videos are, but yeah, they're like pretty long videos. And most people consume short form videos nowadays, so you know, it's just a little bit difficult for that on that end. But you know, as I said, I did those videos for me, not for algorithm or anything. So I don't really care about the views, but if I want to do more videos like that, it has to come from personal fire. It can't come from motivation of people watching it. So I assume I'll do the P3 video part 2 at some point. I just don't know when. As far as my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth one, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. That game was so long, and I haven't even started editing that, so we'll see if I do that. I was also making what is it called, shorts on Japanese learning, and for the most part I enjoyed it, but it was a lot of work to do daily uploads, more work than I expected, and I was uploading them to like not only YouTube but also to TikTok, which I'd never used before, to Twitter, to Blue Sky, and I just felt like the amount of work I was putting in, and after especially a lot of the feedback I was getting, well, quote unquote feedback I was getting on TikTok in particular, was just very negative. It's like, this is a learning process for me. Like, I'm not saying I'm fluent in Japanese. I'm doing this as like a practice, but people are just railing me on every little thing. And specifically, mind you, not Japanese people, not people that are born and raised in Japan. People that I think have done something similar to me and either just studied it in their university or maybe have just picked it up in their own learning methods. But from my perspective and how I looked at other people's channels when they commented, I looked at their accounts, and they don't think that they were people that even maybe, I don't even think that they actually had more learning experience in Japanese than I have. So after just reading a bunch of those comments, I was just like, it's not even worth. And then after, I hit just a brick wall in terms of like my studying. I really liked my Japanese teacher that I had for 2 years. But one, I'm not particularly great with online learning. The first year we did all of our lessons in person in Hiroshima, but when I moved, I wanted to continue studying with her, so we moved them to online. But I'm not a particularly strong learner when it comes to online learning. I kind of need the tactile feeling of being in person with someone, if that makes sense. And then other things happened at the same time when I was doing those TikTok videos alongside the lessons, and it got to the point where I was just like, I'm just gonna stop. I'm just not going to continue studying. I'll still use Japanese in my daily life because I have to. I live in Japan, and I'll still find ways to learn, but it can't be from doing content, and it can't be from doing online lessons. And so I'm just like, I just need a clean slate, basically. So that's essentially what I've decided to change about like my way of studying. And I think for the most part it's maybe helped with my confidence a little bit. It's forced me to go out and talk with people, even though I'm not like the most social person. But I think overall it's been a good change. We'll see how it develops in 2026. But I think for 2026, I think I want to maybe, I'm not sure. I think I'll continue my path of learning. But as far as my content goals, I'm not going to use any form of learning because I don't want to monetize or make content about my learning process. I want that learning process to come naturally to me. And so if I commercialize it, then it just makes it not, I don't know, makes it even less enjoyable. I'm a person that loves studying, but I don't want to make it something not enjoyable. Something that I want to do in terms of my content, though, is do Pokemon related content. So I've been playing Pokemon Pocket like since it released. It's not going to be based on Pokemon Pocket. I might make some shorts on Pokemon Pocket weekly, like my weekly polls. I don't know. I play it daily. I've been playing Pokemon since, I don't know, I was like 4 or 5, since I had the Game Boy Color. And I love Pokemon. And I want to kind of go back and play through all the Pokemon games. give my thoughts like of what I remember about the game, what I love about the games, what I didn't like about the games, and I have to go in completely blind, not blind, but like re-experiencing the games for what they are, go through each gen, and sort of discuss like, oh, I remember this being like this, and it wasn't quite as I remembered it, or just giving my updated thoughts. And also, of course, going through like my favorite Pokemon, like favorite starters, favorite legendaries, things like that. I think making content like that sounds exciting to me. And it's just always had a presence in my life. So yeah, that's going to be a change for me. Now, I did make some Pokemon content on this channel earlier or I guess last year now, but that's not going to be the case. I'm not going to do Pokemon related content on this Griffin Station YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is now going to solely be focused on mainly life updates, anything I want to talk about. For Pokemon, I have a new YouTube channel called Gym Leader Griffin, which will be in the description down below. And there, I will live stream, I'll upload shorts, I'll upload videos. Now, it's not going to be every day. When I was making Jump Force content on this channel, I did daily uploads. And I cannot do that. I'm basically working 2 different jobs right now. And that would just be impossible. But I do want to make like a dedicated stream day. And I want to create like a dedicated, I don't know, just maybe 2 days at least that I upload shorts. I can't promise video upload days because I don't want to force a video. But yeah, those are just some thoughts from me in terms of content. I think there's a lot I can do. And I just want to be positive. That's the main thing. I want to bring a positive energy going into the new year, be positive about myself, be positive about the things that I like, be positive about the people around me. Just bring positivity, because I think a lot of times when you're alone, you can really get into a negative spiral. And it's even worse with social media nowadays. Social media is just super negative overall. And so, yeah, I just want to be positive. And so, yeah, my current plan is basically just make Pokemon content and go through all the gens. And so, yeah, if you want to enjoy that with me, please come over to Gym Leader Griffin. Of course, don't need to. If you're made this far into the video, then yeah, come over. I don't know what you're doing. Unless you absolutely hate Pokemon and don't want anything to do with Pokemon, then I guess don't. But yeah, if you're watching this far, then you're probably safe to come over. That being said, I'm gonna go. I need to do some work and I need to eat. So I'll probably make an update soon, and I'll probably post a short saying that I'm doing something on Gym Leader Griffin for the first time when I end up doing that. I want to do that sometime this week, but I just don't know exactly what day. But yeah, I'll keep it updated. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. It was nice to do this while out on a walk. Although I didn't want to get other people in videos. People don't usually do this stuff in Japan. Or at least, you know, native people in Japan don't do this stuff in Japan. So I did feel a little bit awkward, but I needed to be out. I needed to be out walking. And it was nice and refreshing. So yeah, thank you so much. Catch you all in the next video, stream, shorts, I don't know. Wherever you see me, you might see me in a tweet. All right, peace.